Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Jose Mourinho will not quit Manchester United. Will not quit Manchester United. Jose Mourinho. You'd be forgiven for thinking he's about to walk away. You'd be forgiven for thinking he doesn't want to be at Manchester United, because everywhere you look this week, and it's getting worse and worse and worse, all you hear is Manchester United fear that Jose Mourinho is going to go to PSG. Even Didier Deschamps is talking about it now. It is absolutely ridiculous. Jose Mourinho is not going anywhere. Fact, Jose Mourinho will not leave Manchester United. It's not going to happen. What is happening is something, maybe I should have flagged it up a bit sooner than this, because I sort of alluded to it when we spoke about it on Monday. And I sort of said, look, I think I said it on my walk to work one on Monday or Tuesday, that about Mourinho going to PSG. Yeah, you know, PSG could be interested in him, but part of me thinks this is just because it's international break. It's quiet. Press, media outlets are not getting any interest in their articles, so they're trying to generate stuff. And now I'm 100% convinced that is what's happening now, because it won't stop. It's every day. They've hit onto something where they know Manchester United fans are going to read it, the world is going to read it. And today, I think it's the Sun, the Mirror, the Metro, Manchester Evening News, all of them talking about Mourinho to PSG like it's something new. And it isn't something new. If anybody knows anything about Jose Mourinho, he is not going to quit Manchester United. The only way he will leave Manchester United is if Manchester United board decide they don't want him. And how could they decide they don't want him when he's overachieving in everything he's doing? It is going to be a Skype show, by the way. We will be taking your calls. But let me just tell you this. In relation to Jose Mourinho, if you know anything about him, it'd be very naive to think he's going to quit Manchester United. Manchester United is the biggest club in the world. He's been given that opportunity. He loves living in England, and albeit in London. If he was to walk out on Manchester United, he will be a quitter. He will be classed a quitter, and everything he's done in his career will mean nothing because he quit the biggest job in the world to go and manage a club where it's all about money. Mourinho is not going to do that anyway. Mourinho is not somebody who walks away from a challenge without succeeding. And at the moment, it would be quitting. He will not go. He won't go. What's happening is we're in the international break, and November international break is the worst of the worst. It's like watching repeats of the news from 2 weeks on a loop. It's the worst international break of the lot. And international breaks are pretty bad as it is, but the November one is awful, because apart from like the Irish, who've got a World Cup qualifier, everyone else, as you've seen with the England squad, they just want to pull out. They don't want this. Nobody wants this November international break. And it's a bloody nightmare if you are a media outlet that needs people to read their articles. So what do? Go for Manchester United, because Manchester United fans Manchester United fans have got more fans than anyone in the world, and also haters of Manchester United love to read negative things about Manchester United. Bing! I know. Let's come up with a negative story about Manchester United. Who should we do it about? Well, who's the biggest name at Manchester United? Mourinho. Yes, let's do it about Mourinho going to PSG, because remember he said something a few weeks ago. There's nothing in this at all. He's not going to Manchester United. I suspect Mourinho is probably frustrated that he didn't get the players he wanted in the summer, but that is that, and that needs to be resolved, and maybe in the future there might be issues between the club and Mourinho. But it's not something we need to concern ourselves about. It will not happen. So you might want to call in and talk about that. You also might want to talk about the rumour that Mata's going to Barcelona. What do you think about Juan Mata? Do you want Juan Mata to leave? Juan Mata's a weird one. I mean, I love Juan Mata. I think he's a fantastic player, but I've noticed a lot this season, especially. There's a turning of the tide with Manchester United fans and Juan Mata. I do not get it. I think Mata is the most consistent player Mourinho's had since he came to the club. All right, not normally a 10 out of 10, but certainly always a 7 or 8 out of 10. So yeah, I wouldn't want Mata to go, but a lot of people seem to do want him to go. And also, I would like to get some of your opinions on Zlatan. Apparently Zlatan's going to be coming back as a number 10. Remember we spoke about this 2 months ago? I think it probably will happen. But let's start taking some of your calls. He normally opens the show. He's straight in there again. Andy, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Mark, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, I'm good, man, good.
What do you want to talk about?
Just about the transfer policy, really, with our club as it stands. I know you've touched on it, especially last night as well. I'm a little bit concerned because, you know, as you've discussed, we've got a lot of deadwood in the club. And I know you were on about it yesterday as well, in terms of signings in January. I don't think we will. I think we do need to. I am firmly of the belief that our manager has not been backed in the transfer market. But I don't think we will make any January signings because, as you've previously said, we struggled to get 3 across the line in the summer. So why are the board suddenly now going to turn around to Jose and go, yeah, we'll bring you in, Perisic or Griezmann, whoever it is going to be in January? I can't see it happening.
It's interesting because I've spoken positively about Manchester United over the last 2 or 3 years about the amount of 15, 16-year-olds we've bought. We've bought another one, Umara Mbala. Will join us in January. He's 16 years of age. He's been compared to the Argentinian winger Di Maria. Born in Bissau Guinea, can play as a striker or on the right wing. Represents Portugal under 17. He scored an impressive 15 goals in 18 appearances. So he looks like another potential future star of the world, I suppose. Not the first person we bought around the young age, but we've got a few good young players, and Mourinho's not picking them at the moment. So I think it's exciting that we're signing young players, but I'm with you. I think we need players for the now, and I think this season maybe Manchester City are going to run away with it. And I think I don't know, in relation to what you were saying there, I think if they do, it will be because we didn't get the players we needed to get in the summer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to be fair, I was thinking about it today. Mourinho has done really well with, and let's not forget as well, we're Man United, we get ripped off for players. Like, for example, Kevin De Bruyne cost Man City 50 million. He's cost us 80 million because we're Man United. Clubs know we're desperate for players and we're the richest club in the world, so we pay top dollar. I mean, if you think about the 300 million Mourinho spent, over half of that was on Pogba and Lukaku. Just both for them.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got Eric Bailly, 30 million, Mkhitaryan, 30 million. But yeah, going back to that, I think he spent really well. I think Lindelof, time will tell whether he will be a flop. Personally, I think we should get behind him. I think it's ridiculous the criticism he's getting. And Mkhitaryan, he started off really well and he's just sort of faded. So Mourinho, he was due a dud, wasn't he? He was due a bad signing. Whether you call Mkhitaryan a bad sign or not, I don't know. I don't know really. But there is a lot of deadwood in the club, and I think that is a bit of a concern. And if they're saying sell before you buy, then who out of that deadwood in the club are we going to get top dollar for them? No, we're not. Players like Darmian, 15 million tops. Ashley Young, I think you'd be lucky to get 10 million out of him. Fellaini, are you going to get anything out of him? So that's a bit of a concern with the board telling Jose you've got to sell before you buy. Well, that's the problem.
Thanks for calling in, Andy, opening the show. I think you've done 4 or 5 in a row now, but you're always quick off the ball.
It's a bit of a regular occurrence, isn't it?
Cheers for calling anyway. Thanks for opening it up.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Cheers, Andy. Ta-da. Skype Goldbridge, I probably should have shouted that out. Skype Goldbridge is the name, and do get calling in. Hopefully, we tried to get him on last time. It did break up. Brevin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark.
Oh, good. We've got you this time. What do you want to talk about, pal?
I hope you don't mind, but on Monday I was going to call in about the Chelsea game. Do you mind if I quickly run through what I've picked up in that game quickly, and then we can talk about other stuff like Mourinho?
Be quick then, because I don't think any of us want to go back there, but go on, quick.
Alright, okay, well, it's not. I just feel like in that Chelsea game we lacked chemistry a lot. I feel like our passing on our final ball was just completely off. I just feel like the flair wasn't there, and I feel like we were giving too much space to players that can't be given space. Like Hazard was given too much space. Chelsea attacking players were given too much space, allowed to run behind United's defence, and I just think that can't happen. So then that just leads me off the Chelsea game now, and I just wanted to say, this January transfer window is crucial for us. I mean, as much as many people think we can't get anyone, I saw a tweet from Draughty saying something like, there's so many players that are off contract. And then there's Barkley, there's Sanchez, there's Ozil, there's Wilshere available. And I think, imagine getting all those players into a United squad. It would make us a title-winning team for sure.
I do think that there's an article actually on the UnitedStand.com website by Jason Dowditch about a World 11 that is pretty much available from January. And even people like Ian Robin are on there, Ribéry. Now, I'm not saying we should go and get those now, but there are a lot of players available, and the excuse of Manchester United, like Andy was just saying there, well, you know, if we want a player, clubs will add 10, 20, 30 million on. This is a situation where that's not really a concern because the player's out of contract in May. I mean, I tweeted it out of my account today. Ross Barkley's a player I would take in a heartbeat. I know some people totally disagree with that, but I would. We've all got players like that. There's a winger called Bernard, who's Brazilian, who's out of contract in the summer, who's doing really well at the moment as well. So he's free. Ozil's free. Sanchez is free. There's a lot of players out there for free at the moment. And also, Griezmann's buyout clause is 89 million, which in the modern market where people like Mbappe and Ousmane Dembele have gone for nearly 150 million, then Griezmann at 89 million is a bargain. So there's a, you know, Manchester United can moan about prices, but actually there are a lot of players out there at the moment, and I think we've got to do something in January because the simple reason is Woodward really struggled in the summer, with a whole summer to get the players in. What's he going to do with a World Cup summer where it's going to halve the time available to sign players? We've got to use January.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you said it now, Mark, we have to use January, and I think we need a number 10 in January. 100%. We need to have a number 10 in Jan. I mean, look at City and Spurs. They link play so well, and it's because they have a De Bruyne and a Silva, and Tottenham have an Ali and a Eriksen, and we have a Mkhitaryan at the moment who just can't get in form. And I just think we need a number 10, and if it means go and get Griezmann's buyout clause in Jan. I mean, I know he's cup tied and stuff, but at the end of the day, we want to win the Premier League, and we need to win the Premier League because I feel like I would want to win the Premier League this season and then move on towards winning the Premier League, maybe even the treble next season. But I think a number 10 is crucial in the summer. I mean, not in the summer, in the Jan transfer window. And regarding after the international break, when we play Newcastle, I mean, that's a team that's in the bottom half of the table, and I just really want to see us be ruthless there. I mean, we're at Old Trafford, and we need to be ruthless.
Yeah, I'd agree. Good call, Brevin. Thanks for coming on. I'm glad we got you on because of Monday, and please do call in again.
Yeah, I will. Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, pal. I'm going to try and whiz through loads of calls tonight. A lot of people are saying, why are you doing a Skype Goldbridge on a Thursday? It's really going to be a bit of a mix between Skype and the live comments as well. It's because it's international break, and I've got an opportunity to do an extra sort of Skype show, and United Stand is about the fans, so, you know, it's hard normally because there's games in the week, but, you know, it's a bonus for that. So make sure you drop a like, because this show is for all you lot, and share. We're struggling to hit 1,000 watching tonight. I don't know where's everyone gone? Thursday night on an international break. We've been doing well all week. I'm trying to think what is going on tonight that's people aren't interested in watching the United Stand, but you know, maybe you lot could help me out and let me know. Let's try and get Kieran Marshall. I'd love to say,
oh my God!
I'd love to hear what some people have got to say about Juan Mata and
on the United
Zlatan.
Stand.
Hello,
You're right, Mark.
I'm good, thanks. You?
Yeah, Mark. Yeah. I just want to talk about well, I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Oh my God. Who's your favourite Man United legend?
I have to look. Duncan Edwards would be my family one because that's what I always grew up on. But Roy Keane would be the one that I've actually seen play.
All right. Also, where do you reckon? Do you reckon we will still be champions of the Premier League this season, or do you reckon we'll just finish like in the top 4?
I think we will finish second at the moment, but anything can happen. I think Manchester United. I think if we were just a little bit closer to Man City, we could put the pressure on. But I think I mean,
City look quite dangerous at the moment, don't they?
You right, Matt?
I'm all right. You?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. Yeah, I think United will drop some more points, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty worried. Like when we play them at Old Trafford, I don't know, like when we play them at Old Trafford.
City.
Yeah, City at Old Trafford. So that's gonna be a big one, isn't it?
I think we'll beat them. I think we've got to beat them, and I think we will beat them. But it'll be tough. Yeah. But I think we'll have a few good players back by then. Pogba.
Also, was it the show last night? Something about Griezmann.
Yeah,
Has there been any latest news on Griezmann?
No, I haven't spoken to him for a while, but I do think he'll come to United. Do you?
Yeah. Well, and also Perisic.
Yeah, we won't be getting him. He signed a new contract in the summer, so that ship has gone, unfortunately.
Well, let's just hope we can do. How far do you reckon we'll win the Champions League?
Oh,
how far do you reckon?
I've always said that quarter-final would be good, but having said that, if we are out of a league race, you know, if City are like 15 points ahead in February, I wouldn't be surprised if United won it. I think Mourinho could win it.
Yep. Yeah, it would be a good thing for Mourinho, like winning a big trophy. Might give Mourinho some confidence, you know.
Hopefully it would. I mean, what are your thoughts on Mourinho? Some United fans are turning against him a bit. What are you thinking?
Well, I think he's the right person, like you. But I think he needs to trust the players a bit more.
Yeah, the right sort of players.
I actually love Mourinho, yeah. But obviously, I love Mourinho, and I at the moment we could make top 4, but I love Mourinho, and he will be good he will be very good in the future. We're just building at the moment, aren't we? Though
we are, and we are progressing as well. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask you, when are you doing more career mode?
I knew someone was going to ask. To be honest, it's just time at the moment. I've got a lot going on, and this always happens. I start doing it, and then I run out of time. I mean, I will try and do one at some point, but when it isn't is just another thing. Where are you calling from, pal?
I'm calling from Manchester.
Nice one, nice one. And where you got your mate there as well?
Yeah, I've got my mate. Yeah, both really big Man United fans.
Good.
And keep going with the United stand. I actually love this channel. I just love the community on it. It's just so good, yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for calling in. I think you've cheered everybody up, so please do call in again. Mate. Cheers.
Come on, United!
What a nice call. What a nice lad. And it was a nice little boost as well. And we've gone over 1,000 watching as well, which was nice. Let's have a look at some of the live comments. I would get Verratti and Griezmann, Herrera out, Smalling out, Shaw out, Pereira back, says Khan NEX. Perisic has scored, apparently. Chad Sproul says, what a call, made his day. Matthew McFadden, last caller spoke more sense than Xander. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Is Xander on there? Mourinho is a great coach, said Dawit. And Mourinho can't get rid of Deadwood because he can't buy replacements as our board is so greedy. And yeah, it was a good call. Drop a like on the video. It was a good call there. Right, I want to take some more calls. I'd love to get some people telling me, talking about things that really they want to get off their chest. What's your thought on Mata leaving? What's your thought on Ibrahimovic? A few people asking about Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is going to be back in time for the next game. Remember, we've got Newcastle and Brighton at home, the next 2 league games. So we should be picking up 6 points from that regardless. Let's have another call. That reminds me of something I need to tell you as well. I think I clicked Joe. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can, Mark.
How you doing? All right? Hello?
Yeah, I just wanted to say... Hello?
Yeah, can hear you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, all this Mourinho rubbish is nonsense. It's like the De Gea to Madrid story last season. I knew in my right mind that it wasn't going to happen. And I think it's just paper talk to put the pressure on United because, you know, as you know, the press don't like us.
Yeah, as I said at the start, I think it's just really about selling papers or getting people to click on their websites. I think as Manchester United fans, we should be a little bit... cleverer than that, because it really is just because it's a slow week and they need to gain interest. I wouldn't be surprised if by tomorrow or Saturday there's a big story about us signing Bale, because they just need to stay relevant. And as I told people in the summer, when it's the summer, a story, if you're the Sun or the Daily Mirror or anything like that, if you put a story about United up about a transfer, you'll get 10 times the clicks than you would get about Arsenal, Man City or Chelsea. So unfortunately, that's the thing about being a Manchester United fan, is that when it's slow news, we are the victims of nonsense news, like you said.
Yeah, I know, but I think the suggestion Mourinho hasn't been backed, I don't tend to agree with it fully, but I think, you know, it's not the best squad. You know, we haven't got a blank but like Guardiola, but I think I'd like to see investment in January, but Griezmann won't come in January. And I think the addition of Costa, it'd really help him out with his performances, because playing behind Costa, and you'll see a great return for Griezmann. I think we have to get him before the World Cup, because I think his ceiling will be really high, because I think he could get the Golden Boot like he did in the Euros.
I think. I mean, I'd like to. I'm interested to go back to what you said at the start. Then, why do you feel that Mourinho hasn't, has been backed? Then you don't necessarily agree that he hasn't.
Because if you look at that squad, you've got numerous, you've got experience, you've got players potential to be title winners. You've got title winners with the likes of Matic, the like of Carrick, even though they are getting on. But I think it is still a decent squad. At the start of the 2016-17 season, I was saying we'd win the league. Obviously, it didn't turn out because of the Europa League. And at the start of this season, I did have a suspicion we could win the league, because I was quite confident with our 11 and maybe a few like other reserve players who can come in. I think when Zlatan comes, it will put the pressure on Lukaku, and I think he'll pull his socks up and he really will improve. And then I think Mkhitaryan, if he doesn't start to give good performances out in the next few games, I think he could get dropped, and maybe you could see an arrival in January.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mkhitaryan. Be interesting to see what happens after the international break. I thought it was shocking for most of October, and it's just not good enough. But hopefully we'll see Zlatan back, because I do think Zlatan will be playing at number 10. What's your thoughts on Zlatan as the number 10 behind Lukaku?
Well, I think it'd be quite well, because if you look times last season, Zlatan and the number 10 would rotate, and he would drop back and help out, and also you'd rotate with Rooney. You've seen it a few times when them two play together. They had a good link up with, sometimes they're both swapping and rotating positions, and I think it could do him well, and he could help Lukaku, because he won't have the pace to run on from balls, but he could play them across, and he could help the likes of Lukaku, the likes of Mkhitaryan to get into play and get goals and assists.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for calling in. Really good call again, Joe, and do call again.
Thanks.
Cheers, pal. Let's have a look at the live comments. I really want to say that I want to get somebody to come on who wants to talk about Juan Mata, because the rumour is that he may even go to Barcelona, which is just very... I don't know why I'm doing that with mouth, but it's very interesting, because I just like Mata. I never understand why he ever plays for 60 minutes. I think he's very consistent, and I don't get why people have not been clamouring more about why is Mata not playing ahead of Mkhitaryan, who's been very embarrassing. But let's see. Chris maybe wants to talk about Mata. Chris, can you hear me?
Hello, Mark.
How you doing? All right.
Fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. What do you want to talk about?
I was going to talk about Mourinho, and I think it's just complete crap. He's not going to leave. I mean, I think he likes Man United, and he's not going to leave for a money club in a pub league.
I've got to agree. I just do not. I think if Mourinho left, it would just destroy his career. He would never move past the fact that he's a quitter. I mean, I think if the board force him out, that's a different matter, but I don't think Mourinho would walk. Do you think there's any chance of the board walking? I read an article today. Again, I felt it was quite lazy. I think it was Matthew Ogden, who's normally okay, and he was basically saying that United are potentially, the board are getting a bit fed up of him and starting to feel he's more trouble than he's worth. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I mean, I don't think the board would, fire him or that, because he's probably the best option we have for a manager now. And I think eventually he will come through and win us the league, and eventually the Champions League.
Yeah. Let me just say, Juan Mata, where do you stand on that? Because I do want to sort of talk about that.
I think Jose Mourinho has always sort of regarded him as a squad player, just because even at Chelsea he didn't start him in the first team that much, and he doesn't start them that much anymore in the first team for United. He could stay, but I think if Barcelona offered him, money, he would probably rather go to Barcelona and play.
I think, and also he'd fit into a glove. He'd fit Barcelona like a glove, because at United, stuck out on the right wing is just not the place for Juan Mata. And I just wish he. I mean, Pogboom says he's not had one assist this year, but it's very hard for Mata to get assists playing out on the right wing. I think if Mata was playing at number 10, we'd see a different Juan Mata. And let's not forget, he only plays for about an hour a game out on the right wing. I think Mata's the best number 10 we've got, but it doesn't seem to me that it is going to happen. And what about Zlatan? Do you think he's got the abilities to be a number 10 for United? Has he got the pace, the manoeuvrability?
I mean, I think he's a bit slow and a bit lazy in for number 10. I don't think he would play as well as other players we could sign, like Ozil or Griezmann, obviously. But we can't get Griezmann in January, I don't think, but possibly Ozil.
How do you think Zlatan will fit in then? Because I can't see Mourinho just putting him on the bench.
I think we could play him up top with Lukaku as a two strike force partnership.
But again, I think I think you're probably right, and I think that will happen. The sort of the 5-3-2 maybe, but again, it's like I can see that being because I've seen Lukaku isolated with Zlatan up with him. I can see unless our midfield really books its ideas up, I just think Zlatan could end up being a luxury player that we don't actually need.
I mean, if Pogba comes back in, we have Pogba, Matic, Mkhitaryan might pick up his form again. And I mean, if you have Zlatan and Lukaku up front, you're going to get goals.
If we can provide them, I mean, I think in fairness to Lukaku, everyone's given him a bit of stick at the moment, but he's not had many chances in the last 4 weeks, and that's because we've not created many chances, especially through the number 10. Even if it's Zlatan and Lukaku up front, we still have to solve that number 10 position, of which I don't really feel that we have one at the moment.
Yeah, we could get Ozil in January, but again, Ozil, regardless of how much we buy him for, he's still a big signing in January. He could come for free in the summer, but then what's the point in buying Griezmann?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just feel we've got to do something in January. I don't know what you think about that, but I'm worried that we won't, because I remember Mourinho saying in the summer the only player I'm bringing in January is Zlatan.
I mean, possibly Danny Rose. I would like to see us sign him, but I'm not sure who else we could bring in.
Barkley.
Again, Barkley's contract's running out as well. We could just wait him out and get him in January. Summer.
Yeah, I suppose that's the problem with some of them, isn't it? Anyway, Thanks for calling. Really good call, Chris. And please do call again.
Thanks, Mark.
Cheers, pal.
Thank you.
Just on Ozil, actually, just to bring that back, there was something this morning I read about Arsene Wenger saying that he wants 30 million for Ozil in January. This is despite Ozil can go for free in May. So basically, Wenger wants 10 million a month for Ozil. I mean, I would love Ozil to come to Manchester United. I've said let's offer 20 because that's still Arsenal. Look, you're going to lose him for no. Sorry, I've got a bit of a cold. Oh God. You've got they're going to lose him for nothing in May anyway. So from a business perspective, Arsenal should, rather than nothing, they should take 10 million. But I would give them 20 just to get him. But 30 million, they can, sit down. It's a ridiculous amount of money for somebody who 3 months later will go for free. And let's not forget, Arsenal can talk about what at 30 million. The brilliance. This is the press again speaking total uneducated nonsense, trying to preach to the thick, because actually Arsenal can't demand 30 million for Ozil in January because Ozil's free to talk to any club he wants to in January outside of Europe. So he can actually arrange a pre-contract deal with outside the Premier League clubs. So Arsenal can't even have 30 million. If he went to Juventus, Arsenal can't have 30 million anyway. So it's a nonsense story again. There's a lot of nonsense out at the moment. Chris Text Tip says thanks for the call, Mark. Enjoyed it. Oh, I've just put the name to the name on there now. That's good. Mahrez in a good team is lethal, says Chad Sproul. Yeah, Mahrez is an interesting one, isn't he? But the thing is that there's a lot of options for Manchester United in January. I just think that we've got to do something in January. That's how I feel about it. Don't forget to drop a like. I'm just going to blow my nose for a minute because it's getting really bad. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and share. And we'll carry on. Keep calling and give us your thoughts, and let's have a look who we got next. Let's try. I think we've got Jay. Jay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How you doing? All
What's
right.
going on? Yeah, good.
Good. What do you want to talk about?
I want to start with the reason why I think Martial is not playing.
Good.
And for me, I think after Mourinho's sacking at Chelsea, with the fact that Hazard was the player that controlled the whole thing that got him sacked, Mourinho started to get a bit more, I would say, tentative with making a one-man team. And I think Martial would have become that at United.
It's really interesting because Paul Pogba said today that Anthony Martial is a top talent, and in his whole career, he's not played with many players better than him in training. So for all those people who were saying last year Martial must have a bad attitude in training, that's blown that myth apart. I think in relation to Martial now, and I don't know what your thoughts are, I'm just baffled now as to why Martial's not starting every week. He's clearly our best player. You've got Pogba confirming it, but every game he's on the bench. And I know, he's a bit inconsistent at times, but I think if Martial just started every game, he would get better and better and better. Lukaku starts every game, and he's not been playing that well recently, but he's a first-team player and he starts. He's not used off the bench for 20 minutes. And I think with Martial now, he needs to be playing every game.
Oh, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I just think, especially this weekend with the whole Mourinho not shaking Hazard, I could just see that being, he wants to start building this whole new idea of players rather than individuality. And I think that's why he's not starting Martial. But he definitely needs to start every game.
Yeah,
especially
start
every game.
The next two games we've got Newcastle and Brighton. I think we need to sort of smash them 3 or 4-0 and get some confidence back into the team. In relation to January, do you think we'll sign anybody, or do you think it's wishful thinking from us and United fans?
Oh, I think wishful thinking. Mourinho has this whole idea of I want only 28 players in my squad, 24, that whole thing that he has. I'm not sure if it's 28, and I don't see him going. If some leave, he might sign, but if no one leaves, I don't see him doing that.
Yeah, we did get rid of 2 last year in January. Did some good business actually with Schneiderlin and Memphis, but we didn't bring anybody in. And I think we've got to. I think the squad we definitely need a number 10 or a midfielder just to give us a little bit more. I know we could bring Pereira back. I don't know what your thoughts about bringing Pereira back.
Oh yeah, 100%. We should do that. But the whole idea, I don't see him wanting to come back. Why? The weather in Spain. That's one, and 2. Valencia seems like a young team with a young manager that he might be enjoying his football out there. So even if he comes back, I don't see him being so buying into it as much, and that could be a problem.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Good call, Jay. First time on?
Yeah.
Good debut, and please do call in again.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Cheers, pal. I just want to pick up on that Pereira thing, actually. And I think Jay has knocked the nail on the head, so do drop a like on the video for Jay. Mourinho. Pereira is, and Daniel Tam, I'm going to answer your question in a minute. Pereira is a fantastic player who shouldn't have left United, but left United because he wanted to play more regular first-team football. And I've been thinking about this over the international break because you have things aren't thick and fast, and you have time to actually reflect. And actually, Pereira going to Valencia is a very good move for Pereira because every single game, he doesn't always start, but he gets at least 60 minutes if he does start. And if he doesn't start, he gets about 20 minutes, half an hour. So every single week, he is playing for Valencia, who I think are second in La Liga and are having a very good season. So actually, I was dead against it. But to be honest, would Pereira be playing every single game? He's basically doing what Mata does for United. Some games he starts and he goes off after about 70 minutes. Some games he doesn't start and he gets the last 20. So would Pereira be getting that much game time at Manchester United? No. He'd be like McTominay if he was lucky. He'd get a few League Cup games and that would be it. So from Pereira's point of view, actually, at the age he is, he needs to be playing football and he is doing that. He's also said he doesn't really want to come back to Manchester United in January, which is really worrying. But again, I sort of understand why, and Jay picked up on it there. Valencia are a young, exciting team doing really, really well. They're challenging for La Liga. Why would Andres Pereira want to leave that community to come back to Manchester United and be a bit part player because Mourinho hasn't got enough players? If Mourinho was going to play him, then I think he would come back. But we all know that's not the case. So obviously I put Manchester United ahead of anything, but I can sort of see what the problem with Pereira is. Daniel Tam says, "Hi Mark, love the channel, but don't understand why you complain about Mourinho not being able to spend enough, but then criticise Pep for being a checkbook manager." No, I'm not criticising Pep. I criticise Pep Guardiola in a general sense because he's a silver spoon manager. Everywhere he's been given unlimited resources, and he's had it very easy. I don't think Pep Guardiola is a better manager than Pochettino, because Pochettino's actually had a proper career and built it. Mourinho had a proper career and built it. He started off at Porto and won a Champions League with a tiny club like that. So that's my problem with Pep. Pep having an open checkbook at Man City, that's life. That's not. I'm not critical of Pep Guardiola for that. That is life. You know, Manchester City, I think they made £1 million profit, and they're really happy because they've turned a profit for the first time ever. How they get away with that under financial fair play is just beyond me. But it's not really something I'm going to get bitter about. The reality is Manchester City are top of the league because they've got a decent manager, not a brilliant manager. But that manager's bought 15 players, I think, in 2 years. He's spent £500 million, and he already had Aguero, De Bruyne and Silva. So everything's in Pep's favour to be where they are. It makes total sense. Mourinho is taking over a club that's been messed about for 4 years. He didn't really inherit any world-class players apart from De Gea. And he's only bought half the players that Pep has. So straight away you can see why we're not on the level that Manchester City are at the moment. So I'm not condoning checkbook manager, but the only way to beat City at the moment is to get our squad as good as it needs to be. And the only way we're going to do that is by buying players, because we haven't got the youth players ready yet to come in and replace the crap in our squad. So we've got to spend money. And I'm not a massive fan of going out and spending money, but United need to go and spend money because the squad's not good enough. So that's my point. City will always be smaller than United, says Maffio. Yeah, well, they will. They're playing really good football and they still can't fill their ground. McTominay always ahead of Pereira because of height, says Cali Gold. Yep. Mark, thanks for the call earlier. Just caught up, says Chris McC. Pereira is average anyway. We need skilled players, says Newton M. Well, I disagree with that comment, but actually he's better than a hell of a lot of the players we've got at the moment. Let's take another call. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Me?
Yeah, can hear you.
Yeah, I have a few points about Mourinho.
Okay.
Mourinho is not going to leave because he's too negative. He's not going to leave Manchester United, you know, because he likes a challenge. But I think that he's too negative in the big games. He must stop having favourites like undroppable players like Lukaku. You know, Lukaku is not good enough. How can we build a footballing team around a striker without a first touch?
Not a big fan of Lukaku then?
No, sir. He has no first touch. And he's always out of the game. He does not give Martial or even Rashford as much chances as Lukaku gets. Or even Zlatan. When Zlatan comes back, he will always be playing. You know, players are not picked on merit.
It's an interesting point. So, who would you have gone for instead of Lukaku then? Was there somebody you preferred?
Even Morata. He has a way better first touch than Lukaku. Yeah. And as it relates to Mata, Mata will not fit in the Premier League. He's too slow and lightweight. Mourinho does not like that type of player, especially number 10. So as hard as Mata works, he will not get into a Mourinho team. He's not played on merit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that actually, because I think Manchester United, I mean Lukaku, fair enough if that's what you think, but I think the big problem with Manchester United at the moment is we don't have a number 10. How would you solve that problem?
What I would do, I would see if we get Pereira or Zlatan, because Zlatan has magnificent first touch, or even Anthony Martial, you know, someone that can carry the ball forward. Because he's one of our best players. Give him a chance. He should play at least 80 minutes per match, you know?
I think Martial could play as the number 10. I mean, a few people have mentioned that, and I don't think it'll ever happen, but I sort of agree that he could do it.
I don't know what we're going to do. We need Paul Pogba back in the side, and we need Anthony Martial to be playing the games. They are the best players in the squad. we should get rid of all our squad players, you know. Like Darmian, Blind, they're not good enough. Lingard will never be good enough. This is the best of Lingard that we're getting right now.
Who would you bring in? If you got rid of those players, who would you bring in to Manchester United? Have you got anybody in mind?
I don't have anyone in mind right now, but the thing is, he's not easing the youth players into the team. Like the guy that played on the left, what's his name again?
Mitchell.
He played in the youth guy that played on the left. I'm forgetting his name, but they should be eased into the team. Even Gomez, he should be getting 5 and 10 minutes and 15 minutes experience Premier League.
I think you're talking about Dimitri Mitchell, aren't you? The left side of
yeah, Dimitri Mitchell.
Yeah, I'm surprised. He looks good. He looks like he's got all the attributes that would be desirable in a United shirt. But you know, I mean, you've just said about Lukaku in his first touch, and I can't argue with it because everyone knew that when we got Lukaku. But I said when we got Mourinho that he won't play much of the youth, and unfortunately he won't. Are you a Mourinho fan then, or would you get rid of him?
I would keep him because he's a winner. But I think that he's too negative. He needs to change. He needs to adapt. He's like a dinosaur. You know what I mean?
Do you think he will change though, or do you think because we've got Arsenal at the start of December, then we've got Man City the week after? How do you think he's going to approach those games? Because many people think he'll just play defensive again.
Yeah, he will still park the bus because that's what he's used to. That's what he did at Porto, and that's what he did at Inter Milan, and that's what he did at Chelsea, and that's what he even did to Real Madrid. He made Real Madrid a team with strikers, played like a team with schoolboys, all defensive. He doesn't want any player to shine over the club. He wants to treat it like a classroom. So whatever he does, he wanted to say Mourinho did that or Mourinho did this. So against City, we will park the bus, and then if we win 1-0, it would be a Mourinho masterclass. It won't be a Martial masterclass or a Rashford masterclass. It would be a Mourinho masterclass. That's what he wants.
I'll tell you what, I've really enjoyed the call. I know it's your first time calling in. Thanks very much for calling, and please do call again.
Okay, thanks, pal.
Cheers, pal. I really did enjoy that call because, you know, controversial in relation to Lukaku. It won't have gone down with everybody on it. But he is right about the first touch. I mean, I like Lukaku. I did want Morata in the summer, but since we've got Lukaku, I really do like him a lot. I like his work rate, but he has got to improve his first touch. And to be honest, his first touch is awful. My brick wall's got a better first touch than him, but I'm not going to dig him out about it because I never expected him to sort it out in 3 months, and we've got to give him at least a season to sort that out. Don't forget to drop a like on the video. We've had some really good callers tonight, so please do drop a like, and if somebody wants to call in and go for it a bit like that, you're more than welcome. Let's see if we can get Sandeep on. Sandeep, can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how you doing? All right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for finally. Yeah, I just want to talk about Juan Mata. I think there is no way he is leaving Manchester United. I think he is one of those players who completely understands Manchester United, and maybe he is not being played at number 10, but who knows the reason why Mkhitaryan is there and Mata is out there in the right.
You see, I agree with you. I think I would love Mata to stay. I think he does totally understand Manchester United, but I just feel that he isn't being played enough, and I think there'll be so many people queuing up for Mata. I can just see him being one of those squad players that we get rid of to free up a space for maybe a Griezmann or an Ozil. Now, Mata, for me, is not that sort of player we should be getting rid of. The last caller mentioned Darmian and Blind and others who I think need to go before him. But I've got... It makes me sad, but I've got a funny feeling Mata will go.
I think we should get rid of people like Lingard. And Carrick, I'm a big fan of Carrick, but I think he is past it. I think we shouldn't have given him one more year. We should have cleared up that position and brought someone... yeah, I don't know. Fabinho would have been great, but even I see a lot of people saying Dan Donker, but I'm not sure. Like somebody bringing someone from Belgian league. I've lived there for 5 years. I've seen like the standard of football that happens in Belgium. So maybe he is just another McTominay. You never know. if McTominay goes and plays in Belgian league, maybe he would play as good as Dendoncker. I'm not sure.
I mean, Fabinho is a player I haven't really spoken about for a number of weeks, and I'm still a big fan of Fabinho. And I know everyone says, you know, oh, you know, in the summer everyone was like not happy about Matic and they wanted Fabinho. Obviously, Matic has been very good. I'd still want Fabinho. I still really think he would be good for United. But
imagine midfield with Fabinho, Matic, and Pogba. Like, I think these problems with number 10 would be solved when Pogba comes back, because maybe Pogba is not the regular number 10, but three midfielders there and someone playing advance, I think Pogba would fit the bill. And Martial should start every game. That's another change that Mourinho should make. I think other than that, Mourinho has been okay. Maybe the Tuanzebe also could have played more, but then again, Tuanzebe last season, I know that he played very well as centre defensive midfield, but he is more of a centre back, so there is no point wasting him playing out of position. So I think in the future, I think Bailly and Tuanzebe would be our two centre backs, because Stones and even Smalling for me is not the future.
No, and you know what? I think I've said that myself. Tuanzebe and Bailly, I think they can be those players. I mean, what's your thoughts on Mourinho? Give us your thoughts on Mourinho, Sandeep. I mean, are you concerned he can go? Do you want him to go? Are you happy with him?
I really don't want him to go. I really like him because after the car crash we had with Moyes and with Louis van Gaal, finally there is something that the opponent fans or the opponent players are afraid of. And I think Mourinho can have that. And let's be honest, like before the last international break, we were scoring goals for fun. It was 4-0 and nobody was having these complaints. And a lot of these people who are telling that let's bring in Pochettino, will Pochettino ever come to United if there is a chance? I don't know. And people saying that let's bring Simeone. Come on, that's a joke. Simeone is much more defensive manager than Jose Mourinho. And the reason why we brought Jose Mourinho is to get us a trophy, and not. We all know that he sometimes ignores the youth, and also he is slightly more defensive than the normal so-called United way. But I really want United to win a trophy. I mean, this has been going on for such a long time. Now it's the 5th year, and the trophy should come back to United.
Yeah,
the Premier League trophy. But I really like the way that you said that if we see that this season it would be difficult to get the Premier League, I think there is a good chance that we could go for the Champions League. And Mourinho always have a very good record with the cup games, and a few seasons back Chelsea won it. So why can't we?
I think look, it probably sounds really stupid to some people that I've said we can win the Champions League, but there's two reasons really. One, it's knockout, and Mourinho can set his club up in a knockout tournament to win things like he did in the Europa League. I know it's a harder tournament to win, but I also think what will happen with United, especially if we do get 1 or 2 signings in January, I think by about February we might be a very, very good team, because you'll have Pogba, Zlatan, hopefully everybody's fit, somebody signed, and I think we might finish the season really strong. Rojo, yeah. So yeah, I mean, go on.
I also think with Jose Mourinho there is more future with United. I think all this talk about Jose leaving and these things, I think this is just press selling their papers, because this is the FA and the English press. The one thing that they hate most is Manchester United, and the second thing they hate most is Jose Mourinho. So this is like the perfect combination for them to hate.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why a lot of fans are also falling into this trap.
Yeah, it is a bit concerning. Obviously, we are a fan opinion channel, so you know people have to have their say, even if I disagree with it. But hopefully that'll get turned round, and Mourinho can win them all back again. But thanks for calling, Sandeep. I know you've stayed up late, so really good call as well.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Cheers, pal, and please do call in again.
Thank you. Bye.
Big shout outs for Sandeep in the live comments. Sandeep is the hero we need but don't deserve, says Matthew McFadden, and he even made a contribution with that. And Viper X 1977 says, good channel. I just subscribed. I very rarely get to see new subscribers in the live comments, so thanks for that. If you are new, make sure you click the subscribe button and drop a like on the video, because we've had some fantastic guests yet again on the show. I'm going to go to the live comments for a bit now. I've been neglecting you a little bit. Just remember that Chelsea won the Champions League in 2012 and finished 6th in the league, says Mr. Zaki Boy. It could... Look, we shouldn't even give up on the Premier League yet, even though a lot of us think it's going to be very hard. Durrani says, Mark looks depressed. I'm not depressed, I've just got I've got a bunged up nose, and I've been to the dentist again, and it's really hurting my mouth because the filling they've given me is not smooth, so when my tongue rubs against it, it bloody hurts. But apart from that, I'm absolutely fine. Well done, Sandy, says Mad Marcus, who's on there. I've been playing a bit of Call of Duty, Marcus, and I'm getting worse. I'm not getting better, I'm getting worse. Mr. Zaki Boy says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate our champions in the Champions League? How do you rate our chances in the Champions League? So 10 out of 10 would be we're going to win it. I'd say I'm about 7. A lot depends on how we improve. Yeah, a lot depends how we improve. Man United Max says, come on United, let's put things right after the international break. And love the ethnicity from the show, says Callie Gold. Well, that is Manchester United for you. We've got fans all over the world, so it's nice to get opinions from all over the world. We need to sign a player that can cover for Pogba, says Aristocrats. Well, you know what? I mean, that sort of irritates me a bit. Not that comment, it's a very good one. But Mourinho has always said in his time at Manchester United that his replacement for Pogba is Fellaini, and that in itself is the problem. Whatever you think about Fellaini, he's not a replacement for Pogba, but Mourinho has verbally said that 2 or 3 times in the last year. When Pogba's out, Fellaini's my man. It's not good enough. It's not a good enough replacement. When Pogba's out, we're basically in trouble, as we found out. Edward Ward says, yeah, let's put all our eggs in one basket and go out for the Champions League. That's not what anybody said, Edward. We're not putting all our eggs in one basket at all. We're still in the League Cup. We're still in the league. The FA Cup hasn't even started. We're not putting all our eggs in one basket at all. But what I'm saying is when the knockout stage in February starts, in the back end of February for the Champions League, it might be by the time we get to the quarterfinals in March, City are 15 points clear. We're not going to catch them. In which case, as long as we're comfortable for top 4, I think we'd be wise to prioritise the Champions League. And that could happen. It'd be very hard to win the Champions League, by the way. But I think we've got to be competitive in it. I mean, my worst case scenario is that City win the league and the Champions League. That would make me physically sick. That cannot happen. We've got to stop them one way or another. I did hear about Amaro Mbola. He is the Benfica lad, and he is from Benfica, as I said. 16 years of age. Likened to Di Maria, I don't know why. Quick, skillful, can play up front and can play on the right wing. Another young lad United have signed that has the potential to be a world superstar. We've bought so many over the last 2 or 3 years, and I know people get negative about the transfer window, and I wasn't very happy about it either. But the one thing we can be positive about is that United are signing a lot of young players. And hopefully 1 or 2 of them will be superstars of the future. Because I think it's really important that we do that, because we do get overcharged. But, as a few people have said today, the thing about United is, this January and this May, we don't need to worry about being overcharged, because there's a lot of players out there that the clubs were buying from. Well, in the case of people like Ozil or Ross Barkley, they're out of contract. So United just need to be clever in this transfer window, because we can get some decent players for very little money. And then if we ship people out, if Fellaini leaves, we're not going to get any money for him, are we? But we'll get rid of his wages. And you bring someone like Ross Barkley, and it's like for like, if you don't pay a transfer fee. So that's where I think United need to be clever. They do need to be clever. Right, I'm going to go and rest my mouth, because tomorrow is drinks after work, and we know how we love the 8 o'clock show when I've been out for a drink after work. So I'd hate my mouth to be out of action. That would be the end, wouldn't it? So thanks everyone for watching. I have struggled today. I didn't want to mention it till the end, but I have struggled today with my mouth. Please do drop a like because the guests have been fantastic. And I just want to remind you all as well, a week on Saturday, Manchester United are back playing Newcastle at 5:30. A week on Saturday from 9 o'clock until 9 o'clock on the Sunday morning, I'm doing a 24-hour stream for charity. I'll start giving you the details next week, but just an early heads up as to how it will run. It will be me 24 hours. I'll have a few people on, might even do Skype, stuff like that. We'll watch United at 5:30, but I'll have been live for a few hours before that. But I'm going to try and watch as many games as I can because that helps pass the time. Arsenal play Spurs at 12:30, so we'll be watching that. Manchester United Newcastle at 5:30. Hopefully we'll find a 3 o'clock kickoff we can watch as well. And after United Newcastle, it's Atletico Madrid Real Madrid. So it's going to be a really good 24-hour stream, and hopefully we can raise some money as well because it's for a really, really good cause. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to drop a like on the video for everybody who's called in. I'll be back again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock with a few bevies in me, and it'll be the weekend. So, and then we'll be a week away from football being back. And when football comes back on the 18th, there's no international break for about 4 months. So we've got through it all. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to get comments in below if you didn't watch it live. Thanks to the early squad. Thanks to the live comments squad. And if you're not watching live, thanks to all for you as well. I'll speak to you all very soon. What a brilliant set of calls we had tonight. All over the world. That's exactly what it's all about, isn't it? All around the world.